How's it going, my COG people? Dr. Slacking, the Slacking Doctor, back with week 3 of the COG Experiment. And this week I am joined by my co-commentator, Jack, aka Gravy, which I always, when people say it out loud, I'm like, oh, Gravy. It confuses me when people say your name out loud to me. It's like, you know, Gravy, and I'm like the food? Like, what? Who do you mean?
I
I
mean,
get so confused.
I'm quite hungry, so the mention of gravy is
Starving.
it's doing things right now.
I'm starving. But yeah, we're here with this game with Incog versus Rewt. This is the last game before playoffs. All season long, Incog has been building his opponent's teams and vice versa. I believe, I could be mistaken, that this week Rewt asked if they could build their own teams because I think he needed a win to make playoffs. So in the spirit of kind of competition, he said, let's build our own teams and go from there, which I think is fair enough. I think that's what happened. But you're going to have me and Jack commentating this today, and then me and Jack commentating another one tomorrow. And obviously these battles are late. We've just had some difficulties this week with recording issues with previous pairs, and some people getting ill, and it's just one of those things where everyone who said it will be really hard to get a huge group of commentators together and do this massive project with them. This week all those things have proven to be true, and this league has me half commissioning it, which is a disaster because I'm useless. So regardless, Jack and myself are going to be trying to pick up the slack today and tomorrow, so hopefully you can enjoy these games with us rambling over them.
You said pick up the slack. I'm not sure if you.
I did.
Also,
I heard myself say it, and I thought, do I feel like king? No, just keep going. Power through. Don't don't draw attention to it.
I would like to just say that Root is a coward for not opting into the building each other's teams.
I would say that, but I would definitely be like, no, I want to win. I'm a try-hard loser. Not doing that. So I respect it, Root. I have your back.
But I'm going to be honest, and this is going to make me sound as a terrible CGT commissioner. I have watched approximately 2 of the games so far, so I actually don't know anything of what's been going on. I didn't even know that Incog wasn't building his own teams.
Who watches Draft League games these days? I mean, come on, it's the format's dead. Didn't someone make a video about this?
I don't know. He's probably a bad person, bad player. So
terrible person. Oh dear, but yeah, this will be fun. These are 2 people that I really like, 2 friends, so I'm quite excited to watch this.
I mean, Incog has always been somebody that I think is a very interesting builder. He put some creative stuff together, and I know that I beat him recently with a Hustle Toga Kiss.
Nice.
But you know,
slip that one in there, didn't you?
Everyone's
to know about that.
What's the point of commentating if you're not going to flex? But I kind of built that set thinking Incog brings some heat, so I'm going to bring some heat back.
Yeah,
but
I respect it.
Turns out it was a little bit too heat.
You've got to fight fire with fire, that's what they say.
Exactly. I'm going to go ahead and press play on this. So I'm assuming that we're going to get into it. There's no team previews or anything like that. We are not.
Yeah, I no. Let's just do it.
We do not have the time for
that. Who? No, I've got to go pick Katie up from the coach station, and she will be fuming if she's late if I'm late because it's late at night and she'll be out in the cold on her own. She won't like that, which is fair enough. I wouldn't like to be out on my own in the cold and the dark. So, you know, it is what it is.
I'm wondering why Rewt named his bishop after myself. I'm literally a hazard to everyone around me.
I don't know. Maybe it's named after Eden Hazard, the ex-Chelsea footballer. That's my theory.
Or his superior brother, Torgan?
Yeah. Morgan Hazard, yeah.
Well, can we appreciate that?
Superior now that Eden's had too many burgers and doesn't feel like playing football. But previously.
Root's won this game because he's got an Executor.
The Executor's bad, and anyone who loses to it is bad. But he predicts. Wait.
Good. Am I going to have to flex again, Matt?
No. No. It's fine. Oh, but double.
You are just lucky that.
Let's change the subject quick.
You're lucky that video never made it to YouTube.
I like how he predicted the earthquake from Garrett. Really clean play by Rewt. Let's focus on the game.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, and then Draco predict. Is this that?
I hope it is.
Sapsip is the best Azumarill. Rewt as well. I very much frustrated in UBL by using Sapsip for Protect leftovers Azumarill with Sandstorm and just walling a Zarude and making it take Sandstorm damage till it died.
You should be ashamed of yourself, except for that. That is a great set, and you should be absolutely proud of
it. The more irritating I am, the more happy it makes me. Oh, and that's a
nice knock. That's got to be Sap Sipper, right? Like to do that much to it. Granted, it's a Glow King, but
but definitely Sap Sipper. Sap Sipper. I saw it. I saw it there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Good set.
Imagine Incog not staying on each set so he can look through what he's bringing.
Yeah, God, does he not think of the commentators? What about our jobs?
Unbelievable.
No one thinks of us. We're the little people here. Not me though. I'm tall. I'm not. Do not clip that.
No.
Do not take that out of
everyone
context.
Clip
I am tall. I'm very tall.
I mean, you've been dodging me in real life, so I cannot confirm that. Therefore, you are still short.
Well, every time I meet people in real life, they just take pictures at like horrible perspectives to make me look small, or they just Photoshop it to make me look ludicrously small, and then like everyone acts as though it's not clearly Photoshopped. It's heartbreaking, really. All my friends are snakes, is what I'm trying to say. But
that was an interesting play from Rewt. Like, I'm not sure if he calced the damage from a zoom rule, but going into Rillaboom, which would have been hard walled, potentially, unless it's an SD acrobatics, because that actually does beat Sap Sipper a zoom rule.
With that set, does Incog have anything for that set?
I don't think he does. That's a curse Mantine. You know what?
Oh, that is fire.
Like, Incog has brought some heat. I built up a little bit but this is the kind of heat I expect from Incog.
But if this is Swords Dance Rillaboom,
it doesn't matter.
Get 6-0'd.
Yeah, he's straight up getting 6-0'd, yes.
Well, he could probably stall out Grassy Terrain and then revenge with Hurricane from Gyarados, maybe. No, wait, Gyarados is slower. Yeah, he's fucked.
Drum beating.
Oh, it's not Swords Dance. Okay. Go slow. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't.
So much damage. I don't think this curse is going to matter, but never mind. I didn't see the Citrus. Citrus coming in clutch. Also, this is the world's slowest Mantine now.
This is gonna sound weird, but do you ever look at Mantine and think, I would love to fucking put you on a barbecue? I think if I chopped you in half and fried you, you would be delicious. Like it looks soft and tender and juicy, and I kind of want to see a Mantine sizzle.
I don't know. Have you ever tried to put Stingray on a barbecue?
What? No, I think I would lose in a fight to a Stingray, so I've never tried. But I don't think real stingrays, when I've seen them in like aquariums and stuff, right, and you can touch them and shit, they're not as juicy as that. Like Mantine is quite a thick stingray.
I was gonna say he has got a couple of C's.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that it would make for good barbecuing. I sound like an Australian.
That's not something you want.
No.
It's almost as bad as the Irish, but nobody's worse than the Irish. So.
Oh, I hope Irish everyone is watching.
I certainly hope he is.
He won't be because he's a very busy man. But I hope he is watching.
This Mantine actually might 1v1 because I'm assuming this is not SD. Like Rewt would have set up the SD by this point. If he is like hiding the SD for some reason, then that's a weird play.
Oh, the speed drop. It's gonna come in clutch. I mean, all he needs is one crit. Like, which happens first? He crits or he runs out of PP.
I mean, he's gonna run out of Grassy Terrain as well.
Why, when we're in a rush to record before I have to go fetch Katie, are we watching Mantine click Roost for 25 turns? No!
This is... Yeah.
Incog saying, do you know what? This is the COG experiment. This is about entertainment. I'm not going to keep clicking the objectively correct button.
I mean, he's going to click Roost after this, and then he's going to click Roost probably again after that. I would assume we're going to see at least two more Roosts before this Mantine actually attacks.
You just clicked Curse just now.
I mean, did he check to see how many Grassy Terrain turns were left? Or has he just been keeping track? I mean, I've not been paying that much attention to the game to be keeping track of that.
I've been thinking about eating stingrays.
He predicted the switch. I'm going to call it now.
That is huge. That is huge.
That is...
What a play!
I mean, we're going to see Grey and Slaking easily outspeed a Pokemon, which is worrying. But
a Pokemon with wings. Like, how do you have wings and you're still... I guess they're more fins than wings, but it flies, so I don't know.
It's got to be wings. It's a flying type.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an excellent point. You are far more intelligent than me.
Incog, what are you doing? Why are you clicking Boost? Why are you stalling this man? You're going to get poisoned for that.
Get poisoned, please. Do it.
Ah,
Do it. No. Oh, we can't break Curse Mantine. No. Rewt said, let's not build each other's sets. I want to make playoffs. And Incog said, okay, well, I'm going to bring a set that 6-0s you.
To be fair,
reveal nasty plot T-Bolt.
It doesn't get T-Bolt. I think it might get Zap Cannon, though.
That's the real set. Oh my god, that doesn't even do that much at like +3.
It's +2, I think. Could be wrong. Acrobatics do more, though.
Oh yeah, you're right, you're right. +2, you're right.
But are we going to see the Rillaboom? I don't know if that's a Rillaboom. That's
I can't remember anything. That
is Silvally blue type.
Water? Water. It's got to be water, right?
Water
Could be
or flying or ice. Ice would
or...
not make much sense.
No, unless it's freeze dry.
Oh, that's dead.
How much is it going to do? Yeah, it's going to do a lot.
Never mind, that's living.
I mean, Mantine has huge Spadef, right? And he might have built it
true,
fully
yeah.
Spadef because he's cursed. But
I mean, also, that might be just a defensive Silvally because there's some threats. And if that's a war-type Silvally, which I assume it was, it's probably like a defensive set to try and take on potential rain.
It's definitely like a Gyarados switching, isn't it? You switch in your Silvally Water on Gyarados and T-Bolt it. Although he went into Executor on Gyarados, so who knows?
So, I mean, this Mantine is now dead.
Yeah.
It did put in the work, though.
I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I wish it could have done it faster. You know, I've got a coach on its way to Chippenham. I need to get there.
Yeah. Incog
but
not being thoughtful of you, but, you know.
It's fine. We're going to see Scarf T-Bolt Executor come out in a minute. And, oh no, Trick Room T-Bolt Executor come out and sweep. Does Executor get T-Bolt? Or Zap Cannon?
I don't think it gets electric coverage. I'm more of a Cantonian Executor enthusiast. So
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of that Pokemon. That's not real.
I could hit a Porgate though, which apparently is the British pronunciation of his name, because Ellie did the ICP rankings and got made fun of the way she said Porgate's name. But I was like, we're English. We don't care about pronunciations. We have our own way of pronouncing things.
You mean it's not pronounced George? This is a revelation to me. I've been reading it as George this whole time. What?
It's Sir George. that could not sound any more British.
It's Sir George, isn't it?
It is,
Sir George the Great. He defeated King Arthur and took a poo on the French. He's very British. I like how the person who literally has a Spanish surname is like, yeah, that's George.
See, I have nothing but Brett running through me, whilst you have no excuse. Literally no excuse.
I'm just an idiot, but that's always been true. What is the switch into this? Oh,
I mean that Urshifu name is 10 out of 10. He's put in he's put more time into that Urshifu name than he has the set.
I drafted this thing in another league that's coming up, spoilers, and I've already decided my nickname for it, and I wish that I hadn't, because now I want to steal Hitty McHitty.
I mean, to be fair, that works for any fighting type, so...
Yeah, but this one hits repeatedly, so it feels
does.
like, you know, the whole Surging Strikes, repeated hits things. I guess you could do it with, like, Skill Link Breloom, but, you know, it's fine. Or Triple Axel...
hold up. Skill Link... Breloom, is that a thing?
Yeah, right?
I thought it was just Technician and
no, yeah, you're right.
the Toxikill.
Yeah. It's not in the game.
Okay.
It's not a real Pokemon.
We're starting to realise why Matt has been successful. He is hacking in different abilities for his mods.
Oh, I won a league with Breloom as well. I'm such an idiot. But in my defense, I haven't been able to use Breloom since Gen 7, so because I don't play in Showdown leagues, so that Pokemon isn't real anymore to me.
That's fair.
It's fictitious. Where did the rain come from? Oh, Pelipper. Oh yeah.
Well, that's doing a lot of damage.
Oh, the crit mad.
Again, 2 crits back to back as well.
Back to back. I think that Bishop has a very, very good shiny.
It does. It's a nice shiny.
Very excellent shiny.
Also, Urshifu's not allowed to have it shiny yet, which is unfortunate, but honestly, I don't even know what a shiny looks like, so I couldn't say whether or not
has like a It has more of like a rose gold like muzzle and fingers, I think. Like kind of like those watches that are kind of rose pinky goldy kind of color. You know what I mean?
like the old iPhone. Like, did you ever have or see somebody with a rose gold iPhone and just think that's just not it?
Where I lived, no one had iPhones. They were still communicating with cups on the end of string because they were very poor.
The sap sipper.
There it is.
The counter.
I wish it was belly drum sap sipper.
It is belly drum.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
I should have learned to read sets.
It's okay, Matt. We will take our own time in learning how to read.
I think I actually built this with Addison for a serious game once against a Tangrowth. I think we built Sap Sipper belly drum so that we belly drummed. The Tangrowth came in, tried to power whip, and we couldn't do anything, and then we fucked it. It was funny.
+7.
But I don't know if we brought it to the actual game or if I just said we should do it in the building server and it got ignored, because that happens.
Also, that is very unfortunate because I'm pretty sure this Azumarill now just dies.
To what?
I mean, not to knock off, but it's probably dying to something afterwards.
What does... Yeah, maybe you're right, but
like,
an Aquajet is not killing.
That Aquajet's doing 30. It's a Sap Sipper Azumarill.
Oh dear. It's like, yeah.
It's, I think he kind of had to click play rough just to get damage there. Yeah, unless definitely. I don't know what he's expecting the last move to be. Have we seen the last move?
If play rough doesn't kill, then 2 Aquajets probably does, and you're not going to miss an Aquajet. So I guess if play rough wouldn't have the switch,
the predict into the 4 times
resist. If he'd play rough, this could have all been over, but probably not.
That was a bit of a wild play, to be fair. Like, I respect the predict, but there was a strong chance of a play rough, I think, there.
I think it would, like I say, maybe you just think, all right, play rough doesn't kill, you don't risk the miss, your Aquajet, try it twice, but the presence of... We're going to say that that's what Rewt figured in the moment very quickly, and it was a
gigantic brain play.
The thing with Alolan and Eggy, right?
Yes.
He is very tall, and as a tall person, I feel a certain, bond. And it is an interesting Pokemon. But the face on the tail is nightmare fuel to me.
It is, yeah, it's a bit worrying.
Imagine if you're asleep one night and you wake up and in your room there's like, I don't know, an Espeon or an Azumarill. You'd be like, oh, cute, like that's nice. Imagine waking up one night and on the pillow next to you is Eggy's tail face. You would fucking scream.
I mean, you would, but you'd also probably scream because there's a 30-foot tree in your room.
Well, no, because that would just be, if it didn't have that would just be like, whoa, I grew a really good tree.
Yeah, she's like, oh, well, that's a big tree. But, I mean, why do they add the face? Like, what do they think that gives it? Is that what gives it the dragon type? Because it's literally just a tree, otherwise.
It's just scary. I don't like it. Also, the whole thing going into Eggy, great predict on the Aquajet, but then Eggy didn't outspeed anyway. I think...
It's a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think
I had thought the Eggy was Scarf earlier because it frisked the Scarf on the Gyarados, didn't it? And I thought then the Eggy was Scarf. I get confused by how Frisk works. Frisk does not announce your own item. It scouts the opponent. It would be a very bad ability.
That'd be the worst ability in the game.
If it just announced your own. There we go, it's dead now.
There we go, yep. I thought that Azumarill was going to sweep for a second there, but then, of course, it's Sap Sipper, so it really doesn't do any damage. Would Knockoff not have done more there? I know the item has been knocked off already, but I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm going to assume that Incog did the calc there and Aquajet did more.
Yeah. Well, I wish I could figure out base powers in my head, but I'm too stupid.
Yeah,
what's Aquajet? 40 base power. So times stab is 60 base power, and knockoff without stab but super effective would be like 65 without an item times 2, 130. So I'm pretty sure knockoff's more.
Possibly, but I'd also kind of checked out when you started doing the maths. So I was like, I'm not. I've just had a nap. I'm not ready for maths just yet.
If it helps, I think I also checked out while I was doing the maths. So I won't trust it. Would not trust it. But yeah, I think knockoff killed. I think I don't really know.
Who knows? honestly,
I'm going to warn you. As soon as the last Pokemon goes down,
you are literally going to be running. That's fine.
So yeah, because it's an 18-minute drive away, and her coach gets there in 15 minutes. So I'm already late. So you can outro the video and talk about what a terrible person I am when I just literally dip.
No, I'm literally just going to end the video. When you say that you have to go, I'm just going to hard cut off the video.
Alright, well, as soon as that Pokemon dies, I'm just going, alright, bye, and then we're going to cut it. So for all of you that want good content, subscribe to the COG Experiment channel or the CGT channel, and then go subscribe to the coaches who are linked down in the description, who are not idiots.
Honestly, you could have asked for two worse people for this. That's a Swords Dance Ludicolo. I feel like...
I've tried to explain to people, there's more than one commentary style, right? There's the professional commentary style, and then there's the chaotic... there's us.
I was going to say, when you let two idiots have microphones and watch a Pokemon game.
Both are half asleep and stuck for time.
Wait, that's a rain dish Ludicolo.
Oh yes, the only Ludicolo that matters.
That's not the inferior Swiftswim Ludicolo that probably would have won this game.
He's doing an impression right now of Katie trying to stay warm in the dark, cold bus stop waiting for me.
It's just...
That's how she's going to be moving.
Is that not how she moves normally? I mean, I haven't seen her, but I can only assume that the person that you're with moves like this.
No, she moves. I often tell her she moves a bit like a penguin. She kind of shuffles. She kind of shuffles her way around the world like a penguin. The thing is, the thing you need to understand about Katie is that she was born very prematurely, as was I. But I think that she came out a little bit too premature, and she's kind of half-baked. I think that she needed to be put back in the oven because somehow she ended up really, really small and weird. And I think it's because she wasn't cooking for long enough. That's my theory.
The parents didn't read the cooking instructions prior to giving birth. They just shoved the oven on to 200 and gave it 20 minutes and called it good.
Whacked it in. Yeah, they just gave it like 7 months and was like, that'll be long enough, right?
Yeah, that'll do.
It came out. It only grew to be 4'11", despite claiming 5 foot, and shuffles around like a little penguin.
I'm starting to realise why you two are together. She's 4'11", claiming to be 5 foot.
Look, I measured myself. I tell everyone I'm 6 foot, right? But I measured myself at work the other day. Well, I didn't. I got my co-worker to measure me, and it turns out I'm not 6 foot. I'm 6 foot and 7/8 of an inch. So I might start claiming I'm 6'1". I might go for it. Because if 7/8 of an inch stopped me from claiming other measurements before, I would not have got where I have in
It's surprising that the weight of life hasn't just dragged your height down, like it has most people who are in their 20s at this point.
Oh, well, I should point out, whenever I get measured, I stretch out my incredibly long tortoise-like neck to add a few inches. There's a reason I wear shirts most of the time, and it's because if I wear a t-shirt, you realise that 90% of me is neck, so I need a collar to kind of hide it.
Turns out that you are actually the living embodiment of a lone executor then. We're watching you in this game, or we've seen you die to a play rough earlier in this game.
Yeah, that was me. Incredibly tall and with a nightmare fuel behind. That's how I would describe it.
This is how you get into jobs, by the way. This is how you describe yourself. If you're struggling to get employed, just describe yourself like that. You'll be employed within an instant.
Yeah. Definitely take employment advice from the guy who went and got a master's degree and still can only get a 4-hour minimum wage contract. That's who you should take career advice from.
It's either that or the guy who dropped out of college after the first year after failing music, of all things.
That's cool though, at least music's cool.
I mean, it's cool, but I was so shit that I failed it.
Well, you can't fail music, you just say it's subjective, put your middle finger up and storm out the room.
I mean, I did, but that's why I wasn't invited back. Did that live? That literally lived on 1.
Oh,
going back to the game that's been happening during this time.
There's not a game. And that, the COG people, is how Rewt seals playoffs. I had to make sure
there's still one left, isn't there?
Oh, is there?
I think there's still something else in the back. Yeah, he's got the grassy trade. I'm pretty sure there's something else.
No. Katie's gonna
that's the Gyarados as well.
Oh, shit.
But Earthquake doesn't kill because of the grassy terrain.
Maybe I can head off her coach on the way and slow it down, delay it.
I mean, you could probably just drive into it. That might slow it down.
Oh, honestly, at least then we could claim off the insurance for the car because we're having a fucking horrible time trying to sell it.
And see, I did watch that video. That sounds like an awful time.
Yeah, was that the podcast?
It was the podcast.
So
The one podcast.
Yeah, oh yeah, also, sorry that there was no podcast. I forgot that we were supposed to do a podcast until Addison told me like 2 days later. And you didn't do the podcast this week either when I was in trouble for not doing other things. And I was like, oh fuck, I mean, there was a podcast.
When are we not in trouble with Addison? Like, literally, it's a constant cycle.
It's because Addison's this like functional adult and we're two naughty children. And so we're just constantly in trouble.
She's also like half our age as well. Or at least like
twice as mature.
Yeah.
Flinch. No, don't flinch! They're on the top!
Flinched it!
No!
You hate to see it.
Incog really doesn't want to see Rewt in playoffs, does he?
He really doesn't. Honestly, that's just a BM flinch.
Miss. And Incog pulls out his first win of the season, I think. And
possibly, maybe.
I think Rewt made playoffs anyway, so I think I had it wrong at the start because I think I remember seeing Rewt made playoffs.
It's okay. We know what's happening.
Yes, and on that note,